I spent years avoiding creatine because I thought it was for jocks. You know the type. Big guy at the gym, grunts every rep, probably benches your car. Not me. I'm the guy who spent more time optimizing his gaming setup than his nutrition. But then I actually looked at the science, and I realized I'd been ignoring the most researched, most proven supplement in human history. For literally no reason. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a fitness influencer with a six-pack and a protein shake sponsorship. I'm a nerd who got tired of being tired, and when I finally took creatine for 30 consecutive days, tracked everything, ran the experiment on myself, what happened was not what I expected. Some of it better, some of it surprising, and one thing that nobody in the fitness space seems to talk about. Stay with me. This one is worth your full attention. But first, let me tell you the one thing that convinced me to finally try this. It wasn't a gym bro. It wasn't a fitness influencer. It was a cognitive science paper about gamers. Because creatine doesn't just affect your muscles, it affects your brain. And when I realized that, everything changed. Okay, let's do some actual science. Nerd version. Creatine is not a steroid. I know that sounds obvious, but I genuinely believed it was sketchy until I read the research. Creatine is a naturally occurring compound made in your liver from 3 amino acids: arginine, glycine, and methionine. Your body already produces it. You also get it from meat and fish. What it does is simple. It helps your muscles regenerate ATP faster. ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is the energy currency your body runs on. Every time you contract a muscle, you burn ATP. When it's depleted, you fatigue. Creatine replenishes it faster, which means more reps, more output, faster recovery between sets. But here's what's wild, and this is the part that sold me as a nerd. A 2021 study in psychopharmacology found that creatine supplementation improved working memory and processing speed in people under cognitive stress. Working memory. The thing you use when you're tracking multiple opponents in a game. When you're problem solving under pressure. When you're mentally exhausted at 11 p.m. trying to read one more chapter. Creatine helps your brain the same way it helps your muscles, by keeping ATP available for demanding tasks. You're not just building a better body, you're potentially building a sharper mind. Okay, here's my 30 days. Week 1. I noticed nothing except that I was drinking more water. Creatine pulls water into your muscle cells. I gained about 2 to 3 pounds in the first week. Before you panic, this is water weight in your muscles, not fat. And it's actually part of why creatine works. Week 2. I started noticing something at the gym. I'm not a powerlifter. I do push-ups, pull-ups, dumbbell work. My reps started going up. Not dramatically, but I went from 12 clean push-ups to 15 or 16. My last set used to feel like dying. It started feeling manageable. Week 3. The gym performance held. But the thing I noticed more, and I was not expecting this, was my energy late in the day. I do most of my creative work at night. Historically, by 9 p.m. my brain is soup. Week 3, I had noticeably better focus from about 8 to 10 p.m. Could be placebo. Could be the creatine. The research supports it being real. Week 4, consistent improvement. Up about 4 pounds total from week 1. Some water, some actual muscle. My lifts stayed higher. The late night focus remained. Overall verdict? Real. Noticeable. Boring enough that it should be everyone's first supplement. Now, before I get to the part that surprised me most, and the thing most guides completely get wrong about how to take creatine, I need to address the concerns. Because I had them too. And if you've been Googling creatine hair loss, creatine side effects, or is creatine safe? I see you. I was you. Let me give you the actual science. No hype, no scare tactics. Myth 1. Creatine causes hair loss. This comes from one study, from 2009, done on 20 rugby players, that found an increase in DHT levels. DHT is a hormone associated with hair loss. Here's what that study did not find. Hair loss. It found a precursor marker. There have been no large-scale studies replicating this finding. For most people, this fear is not supported by the research. Myth 2. Creatine is hard on your kidneys. This is a concern if you already have kidney disease. For people with healthy kidneys, the research consistently shows creatine is safe at recommended doses. Multiple long-term studies have confirmed this. Myth 3. You need to load creatine. The old advice was 20 grams per day for a week, then drop to 5 grams. More recent research shows 5 grams per day gets you to the same saturation point. It just takes 3 to 4 weeks instead of 1. If you want faster results, load. If you want simplicity, Just take 5 grams per day and wait a month. Same end result. Myth. 4. Creatine makes you bulky. Creatine is not a mass builder. It's a performance enhancer. It helps you do more work. The muscle you build comes from that extra work, not the creatine itself. You will not accidentally become jacked. Here's the part I don't hear enough people talk about. The fitness space markets creatine almost entirely to people who already go to the gym. Heavy lifters, athletes, people chasing visible muscle. But the use case that made me actually care? Brain performance under fatigue. Think about your average week as someone who works at a desk, games, studies, or does any kind of mentally demanding work. You're not necessarily sleep deprived. You're not eating terribly. But by late afternoon or evening, you hit a wall. That cognitive drag, the reduced processing speed, the slower decision-making, the harder time focusing, is partly about ATP availability in your brain. Your brain uses ATP for everything, and creatine helps maintain that supply during demanding tasks. There's a reason some researchers are now studying creatine for cognitive resilience in sleep-deprived populations. There's a reason it's being explored in contexts like depression and brain injury recovery. This is not a supplement for meatheads. This is a supplement that belongs on the desk of every nerd who wants to be sharper for longer. Now here's the thing I wish someone had told me before I started. And it's not about dosing or timing. It's something that nobody in the fitness space mentions, because they're not making content for people like us. People who game, people who code, people who read for 4 hours and then wonder why they're exhausted. Here's the specific thing to watch for, and I almost missed it entirely. The effect that matters most for someone like me, someone who prioritizes mental output, is not the gym performance. It's recovery time between mental and physical exertion. I work at a desk for hours. I go to the gym. I come back. And then I need to be mentally functional again. Without creatine, that transition, workout to productive work, took me an hour. Sometimes 2. My brain was foggy. I'd scroll instead of create. With creatine, that transition is noticeably shorter. I'm functional faster post-workout. I think this is because creatine isn't just accelerating ATP production during the workout. It's maintaining the baseline ATP supply in your brain that gets depleted when you push your body. The physical and mental energy systems are connected, and creatine supports both. That's the part nobody talks about, because most fitness content is aimed at people who only care about how they look, not how they think. Here's what nobody in the fitness space tells you, because they don't know this audience exists. The people who benefit most from creatine aren't the ones chasing a six-pack. They're the ones who need their brain to perform after their body is tired. Gamers, programmers, students, writers. Anyone who sits at a desk for 8 hours and then tries to do one more hard thing before bed. Creatine doesn't care if you can bench press. It cares if your cells need ATP, and they do, whether you're lifting or thinking. I tested it. The data is real, and after 30 days, I'm not going back. Here's exactly what I take. 5 grams of creatine monohydrate per day. That's it. Not creatine HCl, not fancy proprietary blends. Plain creatine monohydrate, the cheapest, most researched form. Mix it in water, coffee, protein shake, whatever. Take it consistently. Same time every day so you remember. It doesn't matter if it's pre or post-workout. The research shows timing doesn't significantly matter. What matters is daily consistency. Drink extra water. Creatine pulls water into your muscles and your cells are thirstier than normal. Give it a full month before you judge it. You won't feel anything in week 1. By week 4, you'll know. If this was useful, subscribe. This channel exists for one specific person, the nerd who finally decided to take their body as seriously as their hobbies. No bro science, no six-pack flexing, just the actual research, tested on an actual person, explained in a way that respects your intelligence. I've got more videos on the exact workout framework I used during those 30 days, no gym required, and the supplement stack I built around creatine that costs less than a monthly game subscription. Links are above. See you next week.